Do it either way.
Juju Te'o and Jahari Johnson deep to receive for San Jose State. They won the toss, chose not to defer. They want to have the first bite at the apple tonight on the offensive end. And they, of course, are led by their quarterback, Walker Eget, who has been spectacular. The fifth-year senior took over the starting job midway through last year. And all he has done is thrown for over 3,000 yards. That's third best in FBS. His yards per game over 300, fourth best. And this is a guy who will just sling it all over the yard.
And down the field. That really is the key. You don't put up those kind of numbers, dinking and dunking. He throws it down the field. Big chunks of yardage.
And first play of the game, first pass of the game to Scudero. We mentioned how effective he's been, the redshirt sophomore from San Jose. Started his career at Sac State, transferred to his hometown school, and he's been putting up better numbers than anybody else in the nation.
And they are going quickly, using a lot of tempo after the 9-yard gain on first down. Empty backfield for the Spartans.
Eget going to tuck it and run himself, eludes one tackle, and looks like he picks up the first down for San Jose State, who's had a couple of changes on the offensive line going into this game. We'll get to that in just a moment.
A lot of tempo here from the Spartans early. Egan did a good job spinning out of the tackle there from Niles King, but no gain. Minimal gain.
Egan gonna let it go, and he's picked off. An interception for San Diego State. It's Dwayne McDougal. A 20-yard return by McDougal. And this San Diego State defense already paying dividends.
This is how the game started against Nevada last week for San Jose State. One of the worst they've ever had. Ken Niumatalolo said in his many years of coaching, it's the worst performance they've ever had. It's Niles King again on Eget. And Eget, I don't think, saw Dwayne McDougal just coming underneath and picking that ball off. The towel goes flying, and San Diego State is in business as the offense takes the field. More woes for Walker Eget in this Spartan offense.
Officially ruled a 25-yard return. Ball right on the 20-yard line. And a gain of about 3 yards up the middle. Lucky Sutton, who has been doing a lot of damage on the ground for San Diego State. And Jaden Denegal at quarterback. A look at the numbers. Only 10 passes last week due to those nasty conditions when they were taking on Boise State. It's only averaging about 22 attempts per game, but when you run the ball like the Aztecs do, you don't need to throw it a whole lot.
They play around that defense as well. They protect that D.
And here is the quarterback keeping it himself. Denegal very close to picking up the first down.
And that's really what they want him to do. Run the offense, protect the football, tuck it when he has to. This guy is a captain, has been a little beat up.
Sutton ahead for the first down, and it's kind of what he does, always following forward. Not a lot of negative runs for old Lucky Sutton.
He's a big, strong back, and big and strong as this San Diego State offensive line, and they've been together all year, a cohesive group. There's Lucky Sutton. They're without their two best wide receivers. Bostic and Napier are both out.
Here's Sutton again. Up the middle, pushing the pile forward. And inside the 5-yard line is the junior from Cathedral Catholic here in San Diego.
No need to hurry here for San Diego State or be in any kind of panic. They got the turnover. They'll get the ball at the beginning of the second half now, and they are knocking right at the door. 2nd and goal with that big offensive line getting a nice push.
Sutton again, trying to power his way into the end zone. And oh, so close. Jordan Pollard, the senior linebacker from Los Angeles, making sure he wasn't scoring on that run.
Isaiah Rivas came out there early into the backfield, the safety, and got to the legs of Sutton. But look at how good Sutton is at keeping his balance. Does not go down. Pollard gets him high. And when you get him high, you're going to need a lot of help from your teammates. Beautiful shot there right on the goal line. And you see how San Jose State bowed their neck there.
3rd and goal for the Aztecs. Sutton walking in for the first touchdown of the game. The 9th rushing touchdown of the year for Lucky Sutton, who came in with over 1,000 yards on the ground already.
And they really just fire out and let Sutton find his way behind them. Unable to make the tackle.
Going for 2. And the pitch to 42, who gets it into the end zone, and San Diego State won the 2-point conversion. And that's Brady Anderson, the linebacker, coming in and taking the pitch. As a linebacker, you don't get too many opportunities like that.
Brady Anderson, the senior out of Bakersfield, has got the cowboy collar. And here's what it looked like. They stay in that formation, snap it over to the left, and Anderson able to sneak into the corner of the end zone. Another terrible start for San Jose State, considering how they started the game last week against the team in the bottom of the conference, Nevada. This does not bode well for them. It does for the Aztecs.
Got to give a shout out to the long snapper, Tyson Chavez, for that snap. That was on a rope.
It's just in a different direction.
Juju Te'au, deep for San Jose State. No need for his services on this one. So the exact start that San Diego State was looking for, but the Spartans throwing an early interception, and the Aztecs turning that into points. Turnovers have been a big-time problem for San Jose State as of late. They had 5 against Nevada last week, and you see the numbers there in the first half for the Spartans.
See if this offense can get their mojo working again. They could really give people fits, but has not looked good recently.
Steve Chavez Soto moving the ball into his left hand. Nice first down run for the freshman from Chino.
Yeah, really like this freshman. He's got a lot of power. Came out of nowhere off the scout team to become their starter. Does a good job there on first down, creating a very, very nice cushion for Walker Egan and his excellent offensive coordinator, Craig Stutzman, to work here on second down.
High snap on 2nd and short, keeping it on the ground with Chavez Soto again. He easily picks up the first down and then some out to the 44-yard line before Dale Sean Staley gets to him.
Dale Sean Staley was way down the field, and Soto just saw a little something off tackle and was able to get outside on the other side that time, the right side, and just scrape into the secondary. 2 good gains by the Spartans. They got to have an answer here after that start, lest the nightmare of Nevada return.
Chavez Soto again with some room to run up the middle, and now in plus territory are the Spartans. Mr. Williams, the middle linebacker for San Diego State, makes the stop after the 6-yard gain.
Nice job by Chavez Soto getting behind the center, Joseph Harbert, finishing that run physically, and knocking on plus territory are the Spartans now.
Fakes the handoff, pass complete to the outside. That's Leland Smith picking up the first down for the Spartans. Look at the numbers here in terms of passing. San Jose State 3rd most in the Mountain West, and San Diego State exact opposite. They're running the ball over 60% of the time. You get to throw again. Pressure coming. has to get rid of it, and just not enough juice. Skips it over there to Kyrie Scholes, but Niles King made him get rid of it early.
That's the second time Niles King has been in the backfield affecting throws. The first time led to the interception by Dwayne McDougal. They also bring a couple twists to try to confuse Eget. He had an open man, but just couldn't get his feet set well enough to get the ball out there from the far hash.
Danny Scudero was lined up in the backfield, and that's where Eget goes. They're going to move him all over the place. He's going to be just shy of the line to gain is Scudero.
I like the scheme there. They got Scudero in the backfield, matched up with Mr. Williams, and that is a mismatch. So he just turns around and shows his number to Eget, and then turns and runs. Mr. Williams slips a little bit, creates a third and short situation. San Jose State starting to recover themselves after that bad start.
Scudero in motion again. Chavez Soto diving ahead for the San Jose State first down.
And it's always going to feel like there's holes inside when you're running the ball in your San Jose State and Stutzman's offense, because the splits are so wide. So the offensive linemen have to move in space. A lot of one-on-one matchups. You see how wide those splits are for their offensive line compared to San Diego State. It's like Swiss cheese.
8th play of the drive coming up. Eget, quick throw to the right side. It's tipped as he lets it go. Looked like Owen Chambliss was the one who got a hand on it.
See how big those splits are, and that's a big part of this offense. Spreading out your opponent, creating vertical run lanes. But one thing you can do is get your hands up and try to bat it down if you can't get to the quarterback with the speed that the ball's coming out. Nice job by Chambliss.
Juju Te'o in a running back on 2nd and 10. And Juju Te'o, a no gain here. And like to welcome everybody in that was watching the Colorado State game. Dan Helling, Petros Papadakis with you here. San Jose State, San Diego State. An early interception by Walker Eget, one of the leading passers in the country. As we take a look at the head coaches, Sean Lewis and his Aztecs sitting atop the Mountain West Conference coming into this one. They control their own destiny. An interception by Eget led to a San Diego State touchdown. But the Spartans looking good on this drive. 3rd and long here. Eget flushed out of the pocket, out to Scudero. He's going to be well shy of the line to gain.
He was pressured there by Ryan Henderson, coming off the edge and getting inside. But a pretty good recovery by the Spartans, setting themselves up for a kick after the disastrous start, which brought back too many memories of what happened to Coach Ken's guys in Nevada last week.
So a 43-yard attempt for Dennis Lynch. They used 2 different kickers, and there was a slip by Lynch. And special teams have been an issue for San Jose State. The special teams coordinator and the defensive coordinator both been replaced. We'll get to that after the break. For those of you watching on FS2, please tune in to FS1 to watch the remainder of the game. So an interesting first couple of minutes with San Jose State and San Diego State. Walker Eget throws the early interception. Lucky Sutton scores the touchdown. A crazy 2-point conversion, toss out to a linebacker, Brady Anderson, who scores. So it's 8-0 San Diego State, and then a missed field goal by San Jose State after an 11-play, 50-yard drive. So now Christian Washington in at running back for the Aztecs.
They got 3 running backs out there.
Lucky Sutton in as well. Denegal to throw and unable to connect with Donovan Brown. Donovan Brown's moved into that #1 wide receiver role. You mentioned the 2 outstanding receivers they lost, Jordan Napier, who had over 600 receiving yards, and Jacob Bostic, both out for the season. So Donovan Brown moves into that #1 role. Mikey Welsh, Nathan Acevedo, both going to be seeing more action in the passing game.
They've been able to run the ball and play very conservatively and play around their defense. We'll see if that continues tonight.
Aztecs keeping on the ground and plenty of room for Lucky Sutton, who picks up a first.
Sutton has had a great year. He's their lead guy, 6'1", 225 pounds. He's supposed to keep that one on the left side, but sees a hole on the right and slips through it.
Denegal looking left side. Had to climb the ladder to go up and make that catch. It was Nathan Acevedo.
Nathan Acevedo, a local guy at a Lincoln High School here in San Diego, home of the Hornets. That's the place Terrell Davis and Marcus Allen played.
And right up the middle for a first down is Christian Washington. And they will run it up your throat. Last week, they just absolutely bullied Boise State, racking up 277 yards on the ground, their second highest total of the season, behind only the 281 they hung on Colorado State. Denegal with all kinds of time, taking a shot, wide open, and he drops it. Oh my goodness, Nathan Acevedo, after making a tremendous grab in the breadbasket, doesn't hold on.
Well, sometimes in football, it's easy to do the hard stuff and hard to do the easy stuff. You have the corner fall down, Jalen Boehner, and Acevedo all alone, and he tries to catch it with his hands flipped up as opposed to letting it fall into his hands, and does not go well. Heartbreaking for him.
Lucky Sutton runs into a slew of Spartans, led by Jaden Apollon-Williams.
I mean, that was a good throw by Denegal, too.
Beautiful.
Right on him. Now a 3rd and long, and this is just about 3rd and 8, is just about where they want to stay out of. You see their percentage on 3rd down. They need 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6 to feel comfortable in this offense, especially without their top 2 receivers.
4-man rush coming from San Jose State. Sutton had to pause to make that catch, so not able to make a move right away. Noah McNeil-Franklin on the stop for San Jose State. That brings out the punt unit for the Aztecs.
Good job by the Spartans to recover themselves there, rally to the football and get Sutton down. Force a punt after it looked like they were going down 2 scores in a hurry. I mean, the scorekeeper was already hitting the button on that one. He was wide open.
DB fell down and there was nothing but green grass. Jalen Thomas calls for the fair catch inside the 20-yard line. You don't get looks like this very often. Nothing but green grass and 6 points in your future. Ruh-roh.
Aztecs up early on the Mesa. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, sponsored by Peloton, introducing the new cross-training series. For San Jose State, you got to get your groove back. You've got to get this offense and this motor running again, and looked like they found that a little bit on the last drive. And for San Diego State, they've got to find offensive balance. They can't just run the ball. They've got to be able to throw it and overcome their injuries at the receiver position.
Chavez showed a little stutter step in the backfield, waiting for the blocks to develop, and it never really did. Dwayne McDougal on the tackle.
They had a little bit of success with the run on the last drive. Chavez Soto taking off a few chunk plays, getting some first downs. but their bread is buttered through the air, and they've got to get Walker Eget comfortable.
And that was the goal for this San Diego State defense, to make him uncomfortable from the jump. Pressure coming again, and Eget kind of hobbling out of the pocket. He's not really moving right.
And he had Jackson Kanan open right away. You're going to see him running across the field. He's open right now, but Eget is pressured and has to try to recover himself and throw it out there.
And he's down right now. He's hurt.
Yeah, you saw that. Something going on with the leg.
He has a huge brace on that right knee. And I don't know if it's the right leg or the left leg. Hopefully it's just a cramp for Walker Eget.
Out on the field.
But he is helped as he is limping off the field. Back in a moment. Welcome back to San Diego. There's Walker Eget, the third leading passer in the country, just left the game with some type of leg injury. Tama Amasanone is a freshman from Hawaii, and he is replacing Eget at quarterback.
Amasone, 5'11", 184 pounds. He's thrown 14 passes this year, has had 19 carries.
Amasone pressured and sacked. Ryan Henderson gets to him off the edge. And that brings up fourth down for San Jose State. The game plan evolving and changing with a backup quarterback in the game.
Yeah, I think he thought he had a little bit more time than he did. His clock is going to have to speed up. Henderson, not from Henderson, he's from Las Vegas, does a great job on the edge, being relentless with that pursuit, and things are going from bad to worse for San Jose State.
Trent Carrizosa punting for the Spartans, end over end. Welsh hauls it in, and he is met immediately at the 49-yard line. The San Diego State defense, we talked about him in the open, one of the very best in the country, averaging just 12.5 points per game, making a difference tonight. It was a tough week for head coach Ken Niumatalolo. He had to fire his defensive coordinator and his special teams coordinator, Derek Odom and Joe Paulsick. And it was the inside linebacker coach, Boje Filimoyatu, who has stepped in as the defensive coordinator and the play caller on the defensive side of the ball, moving up to the booth from his normal position on the sideline. Denegal looking to pitch, and he does. And that is the freshman, Jalen Hawkins, who draws the flag as he's slipping all over the place in that plastic out of bounds.
They wanted to get Hawkins going in this game because their receivers are down. He's a young player, but has a lot of speed. They run a little bit of a triple option look, flanking out to the right side, and maybe a little overly aggressive there on the edge as Niumatalolo's frustrations continue.
Unnecessary roughness, defense number 7. That 15-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the run. It's an automatic first down.
See him pitch it out to Hawkins. And that's Apollon Williams with the extra toss, the tavernly discard, as Bill Raftery would say, into the plastic.
Lucky. Trying to cut it up inside, but Jerai Moy was right there, the freshman from Orange Lutheran. A couple of Orange Lutheran guys in this game.
Nice play by Moy. Orange Lutheran in the city of Orange, Southern California. A lot of locals going at it in this one. Northern and Southern California on both teams.
Sutton again. And these guys from Orange Lutheran do not like playing against Lucky Sutton because he absolutely smoked them when he was in high school in a playoff game. 7 touchdowns and 480 yards in that win for Cathedral Catholic.
How about that? That's where Tyler Gaffney played. Right up there by USD on the hill.
All 3 running backs for San Diego State locals, Washington, Cardwell, and Sutton. And the throw off the hands of Donovan Brown. Another catch that probably should have been made for San Diego State.
Well, they had the disastrous drop by Acevedo earlier. And it's just, you could tell he's having a hard time getting on the same page with these receivers without Napier and Bostic. Timing just a little off, that one a little high, forcing a field goal. San Jose State trying to minimize the damage here while they try to get their bearings.
35-yard attempt for Gabriel Placencia. And he line drives it through.
Kick is good.
For an 11-0 score. And the Aztecs putting more points on the board here with 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. The greatest rivalry in sports is here. Top-ranked defending national champion Ohio State heading to the Big House, looking to sap Michigan's 4-game win streak in the game. It all starts at 9 a.m. with a special 3-hour Big Noon kickoff live from Ann Arbor. Then it's Michigan and Ohio State at noon, only on Fox. All kinds of goodness this Saturday as Oregon takes down your Trojans P. Boom, and the Tigers was Oklahoma, 17-6 the final there, and then the Fighting Irish hang 70.
Whoa.
70 on Syracuse. A lot of friends in the broadcasting business not happy with that score.
Coach Fran really taking it on the chin from Notre Dame. Wow. Matt Leinart very upset about the USC game.
I would say half of the play-by-play guys in the world probably upset about that Syracuse game. Here's Johnson to the 25-yard line, and then he is bopped pretty good.
Yeah, this San Diego State special teams defense, their offensive line, Lucky Sutton, they have heavy hands, and they really do pack a punch. What an attitude this team has developed under Coach Sean Lewis in his 2nd season, putting a great product on the field here on the Mesa.
What a turnaround it's been for them, too, after that 3-9 season last year. 9 points away from a bowl game, 6 points away from having 1 win. Amasone again in a quarterback, lets it rip. His first completion out to Leland Smith. Going to be good for about 7. And that brings us to the end of one. 11-0 San Diego State on top. San Jose State with a backup quarterback in the game and with the ball, looking to put some points on the board when the second comes up. Welcome back to San Diego. Walker Egat, the outstanding quarterback for San Jose State. Lower body injury, questionable to return. He's been replaced by Tama Amasone, who had an outstanding high school career in Hawaii, completed his first pass a few moments ago and is now charged with trying to lead these Spartans down the field and get them on the scoreboard. They were shut out in the first quarter, 11-0.
This is a rhythm offense, but they got to get that engine started. They got to pull that cord on the lawnmower and stack some successful plays. They had one there with the completion to Leland Smith, but the quarter kind of stopped their momentum. Let's see if they can regain it.
Keeping it on the ground, and there's absolutely nowhere to go for Steve Chavez Soto. Ryan Henderson on the stop for this outstanding San Diego State defense.
Yeah, Henderson's made a couple plays. We've seen Niles King, the other edge, make some big plays. We haven't heard much from Trey White yet. And no one really mentions Chris Johnson, the corner, because he's always locking a guy down.
Amasone rolling out to his right. Pass complete at the 41-yard line. Catch is made by Kyrie Scholes.
Nice job by Amasone, forced into this game. Starting to get more comfortable, throwing that ball on the run to his twitchy wide receiver out of Las Vegas, Kyrie Scholes, who hauls it in. He's played really well.
Going to keep it on the ground with Chavez Soto. Not a whole lot of room. Dale-Sean Staley from that safety spot making the tackle. Talked about Amasone's high school career, the first quarterback in Hawaii high school history to pass for over 2,500 yards and rush for 1,000 yards in a single season. Pretty incredible considering you have guys like Tua and Marcus Mariota.
Cordero we were talking about. Shevin.
Amasone going to tuck it and run.
Whoa.
Has some wheels. Amasone inside the 40-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds by Dwayne McDougal.
Well, he shows us those legs right away. Once we get the stat, he says, take a look, I can do this. Tucks that ball beautifully, and they misjudged his speed a little bit. Accelerated through the contact zone for a first down, and now, once again, the Spartans are in plus territory. Here he goes.
And he's going to do it again. Not as many yards this time. Goes for about 3 before Mr. Williams introduces himself. All smiles for Amasone, who's having some fun out there. Be a lot more fun if he can get the Spartans in the end zone.
But they're starting to get the rhythm of the offense going, and that's really what they need.
This offense has been so effective through the air, averaging nearly 315 yards per game with Walker Eget, who can move a little bit too, but not like Amasone. Oh, pressure coming, and he just has to get rid of it. There were 3 Aztecs in the vicinity. Sam Benjamin was one of them.
Yeah, and they're working to confuse him. They had Trey White lined up on the edge with his ears pinned back, and he dropped out into coverage. And I think that confused Amasone a little bit. Good job getting rid of the ball and living to fight for this 3rd down. They got Scudero in the backfield, and that creates a mismatch with the linebacker. Let's see what they do with it.
3rd and 7, and Scudero on the move. Amasone looking that direction, and that's exactly where he goes. They do such a nice job of moving him all over the field and getting him open. Craig Stutzman told us that's exactly what they've been doing all year long, and they would continue to do so tonight.
Not a linebacker on him. It's Dale-Sean Staley, but the same result. He's just not fast enough to keep up with Scudero. And all of a sudden, San Jose State's starting to look like themselves with this freshman quarterback, Amasone, pulling the trigger.
Chavez Soto goes for 2.
One of the very important things for this Spartan offense, because they throw the ball so much, more than almost anybody in the country, they're facing generally a light box, maybe 4 or 5 guys in the box. Everybody's spread way out, and the linemen have the big splits. They have to be able to run for positive yardage when they see that look, and that's what Chavez Soto's job is going to be tonight.
Amasone looking to his left. And Amasone just has to get rid of it. It really is strength on strength here with the passing offense from San Jose State. These are FBS ranks against the top 10 pass defense for San Diego State. Of course, those numbers with Walker Eget at quarterback. Amasone brings a different dimension with his wheels, as we saw on that last run a few plays ago. 3rd and 8. And a San Jose State timeout. They want to regroup a little bit with their freshman quarterback. Probably a good decision.
San Jose State, that is their first.
Saw a shot
30
of
seconds in length.
Craig Stutzman there, the offensive coordinator, knows what he's up against, this great San Diego State defense.
They've been so good this season as we look at the numbers. They're allowing 12.5 points per game. That's 4th in FBS. They lead the Mountain West in rushing defense, total defense, and scoring defense. And this is pretty crazy. They've allowed 7 points or less in 6 of 10 games.
And what's really impressive is Sean Lewis is known as an offensive genius. And it's very hard for a guy who's a play caller, known as an offensive genius, as a head coach, to look at his team and say, we're going to play defense, we're going to play offense to accommodate our defense, and special teams as well. I'm so impressed with the team he has built this year in San Diego and just how different it is from what he's been doing in the past.
Just a 3-man rush, but they get to Amasone, or they're trying to, and he doesn't feel the pressure coming from the backside. Niles King turned off the afterburners and got to the freshman.
Nice job by Niles King, and I think you saw it there, Dan, that Tama Amasone, though he is exciting and explosive, he is going to have to grow throughout this game and feel the pressure a little bit more. He does not have as much time as he thinks, especially against this excellent San Diego State defense. You see the great coverage on the back end. Nobody open. Amasone needed to tuck that.
A 37-yard field goal attempt for Matthias Brown. And the kick is good. Now, if you notice, it's a different kicker than they used last time. They used one kicker from the left hash, that's Matthias Brown, one kicker from the right hash, Dennis Lynch, and this time it resulted in 3. Fox College Football Friday, under the lights in prime time. This week we have the duel in the desert. Noah Fafita leading Arizona against Arizona State. Friday night, 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox.
What about the job my guy Brent Brennan's done at Arizona this year? Bear down.
Way to tie that all together. The former San Jose State head coach, Coach Brennan, had a nice run with the Spartans. Well, you talked about how Sean Lewis, who has been historically an offensive coach, has kind of adjusted a little bit. You know, when you have personnel and you have pro prospects on the defensive side of the ball like you have, you become a little more defensive minded.
Yeah, he's been really impressive. And this is really hard for a guy that's known for offense and tempo, not unlike Stutzman, the offensive coordinator for San Jose State. But to be the CEO here and look at his team and play a different style and have so much success in conference has been impressive.
Denegal, quick pass out to the left side. That's Welsh. And Welsh diving ahead, very close to the line to gain. Going to be just about a yard shy.
They're going to need more of that balance on the perimeter. And now they're having a little pace, just like San Jose State's running.
Look at Sutton. I mean, that's only a 3-yard run. He broke a tackle in the backfield and then falls forward to pick up the first down. And looks like an ordinary 4-yard run, but it's not.
Well, he takes some football out of these guys, right? You're frustrating these guys. You're hitting them. You're knocking them over. And those 3-yard runs become 15, 30-yard runs as the game goes on. That's how he's piled up 1,000+ yards already this season. He's had a great year.
Denegal this time going to the right side. Again, it's Mikey Welsh who picks up 4. Back to Sutton. You know, Sean Lewis told us that, exactly what you said, that those 3-4-yard runs turn into 8, 9, 10-yard runs in the fourth quarter. And I said, yeah, you know, that sounds good in theory. But you look at the numbers, he's averaging 4.4 yards per carry in the first quarter, and then you move to the fourth, it's nearly 6.5 per carry.
And that is a product of the offensive line, the tight ends blocking, the continuity on the offensive line, and the dedication to the run.
They fake the jet sweep, and Denegal keeps it and doesn't get anything on that carry as Isaiah Rivas makes sure of it. Bring it up 3rd and 6.
Isaiah Rivas, the safety out of Las Vegas, has come up and made a couple of good plays around the line of scrimmage already in this game. And this is about 3rd and 6. This is right on the edge of where the Aztec offense is comfortable. If they can convert this, it'll do a lot for their confidence.
Denegal lets it rip. Again, a little bit behind Donovan Brown. Don't know when the coaches watch that tape if they call it a bad throw or a drop, but there have been a couple of drops early on here for San Diego State.
He sends Sutton out on the swing route and certainly could have been caught, but like we talked about, just not on the same page with these new receivers. We've seen a couple attempts to Donovan Brown, a couple of catches by Mikey Welsh on that drive, but still results in a punt.
Hunter Green with a punt, fair catch called for by Jalen Thomas inside the 25. A beautiful night in San Diego. 59, 60 degrees. And the Aztecs on top by 8. Walker Egan getting a hug from his tight end, Grant Norberg. They're saying he's questionable for a return, but he's on the sideline, pads off in crutches. Amasone has replaced him at quarterback, the freshman from Hawaii. And he looks like he's having a good time out there. He certainly had some moments. Quick pass from Amasone out to Scudero. Let's take a look at that Walter Egan injury.
Yeah,
It's on this run right here where he just starts limping as he's trying to get away from the defender and then goes to the ground and had to be helped off the field.
Yeah, something with that knee. And he has been their leader, has put up great numbers all year.
Chavez Soto taken down by Owen Chambliss.
But San Jose State's done a good job here. They've taken the punch. They've taken the disappointment of losing their quarterback and their captain in Walker Egan. They've got the freshman out there playing with a little bit of juice. They've got a first down. They've got some points on the board. And you see what they've done with total yards, outgaining the Aztecs.
Amasone here keeps it himself, picks up 8. And there was a massive hole for the quarterback to run through.
Yeah, it's kind of created because of those wide offensive line splits. You see that. And what he really should have done is given the ball to Chavez Soto on that read, but he keeps it and follows Soto into the hole, which is the right thing to do if you make the wrong read. San Jose State getting more and more confident with this freshman quarterback as the offense continues.
Fakes the handoff to Chavez Soto. Amasone going to take a shot, and here comes the flags. Scudero was bracketed in coverage there, and one of the DBs still down. That's Dwayne McDougal, I believe.
Yeah, he's the one that had the pick that started things off and set up the touchdown for the Aztecs. He's been a very good transfer out of Idaho. Looks like he got tripped up when Scudero went down. They're still tending to him.
McDougal caused a couple of turnovers in the last few weeks, and then
defense number 26, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Tough to get a penalty called against you while you're being tended to.
Kind of a double gut punch. But he had that great interception earlier. which led to San Diego State's only touchdown of the game. And that's really the difference right now. That was on the first series for San Jose State. They went for 2, up 8-0, and then they just traded field goals since then.
They're happy to see McDougal up.
Oh, that's good news. Truth be told, though, that penalty might have saved about 20 yards based on where that pass could have been caught. You know, Scudero, the leading receiver in the country, coming into the game with 1,155 yards, and Sean Lewis knew that that was the guy that they had to be aware of at all times.
We've seen him in the backfield. We've seen him out all the way wide. We've seen him in the slot. They move him everywhere to try to confuse this defense.
Amasone kind of delayed quarterback draws, and that's an easy first down. And you can see that Craig Stutzman, I think he realizes he has to use his legs.
Yeah, and he's fast. I mean, this guy's got great acceleration, and you see Lapuaho pulling around, doesn't even have to hit anybody because of the wide splits and the big hole out there and the speed of Amasone.
Chavez Soto just runs into a brick wall. That last run by Amasone went for 17 yards. And he is the leading rusher in the game so far. 6 carries for 38 yards is the freshman from Hawaii.
Craig Stutzman calling plays out there, putting in work with this freshman who seems to be getting more and more comfortable as the game goes on, and they're once again threatening.
Scudero in motion. And that's where they go. Scudero breaks the tackle, picks up the first down inside the 15-yard line.
I love that play design by Stutzman, because that's a really, out in front of your body like that with your momentum going forward, that's a really hard ball for a running back to catch. And that's usually where you would throw it to a running back on what they call a swing hook. But instead, it's a guy with excellent body control in Scudero, and he's able to make that play athletically and really accelerate up the field and cause another first down. This guy is a special coordinator. The stuff they say about him is true. And I love the product in his hair.
Looking good. Second season as the offensive coordinator here. Came from Texas State. He's a wide receiver at Hawaii. Amasone flushed out of the pocket, gets rid of it.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback was outside the pocket, and the ball went beyond the line of scrimmage. Second down.
Play selection for the Spartans tonight. You see what Stutzman has done. Usually very heavy on the pass, but usually they have Walker Eget. Amasone out there is a little bit niftier running the ball, and they found something here in the second quarter with this freshman quarterback from Hawaii.
8th play of the drive. Amasone scanning the field, eluding the rush, directing traffic, and has to throw it away. It was Brady Nasser, rather, with the pressure off the edge.
Showing a lot of maturity and a lot of patience the last couple of plays. I know they were both incomplete passes, but he's not forcing it. He's not taking the success he's had and making a mistake because he's trying to do everything. He's up against a great defense, and he knows that throwing it away and getting another play call is the right thing to do. He's done it twice now.
Whistles and flags, as it looked like Amasone was going to keep.
I think you might have a little more of that with a new quarterback
False
in the
start.
game.
Offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Lapuaho, the left tackle, is who they flagged.
And that was a good point with the new quarterback in the game. And how about a new center as well? Hudson Mesa starting at center for Josh Harbert, who He's moved over to right guard. Pressure coming up the middle on Amasone. Drops it off to Chavez Soto. Breaks one tackle, but not another, and gets right back to the line of scrimmage. Jared Beatty on the stop.
Well, sometimes, especially against a very good defense like this, and there you're going to see Trey White dropping into coverage and then reading the play and making a good attempt at a tackle to slow down Chavez Soto. But these spread offenses that throw the ball a whole bunch, sometimes the closer you get to the end zone, the smaller the field gets, the tighter that defense gets on you, forcing the field goal.
39-yard kick for Matthias Brown. Made his first one, and he misses his second.
Kick is no good. Timeout on the field.
Special teams have been an issue for San Jose State. They relieved their special teams coordinator of their duty. 2 different kickers, 2 different snappers. It's been a tough road to hoe. Back at San Diego State, 2-8, one of the great ones of all time, not only here at SDSU, but in the NFL as well. A college football and pro football Hall of Famer. He is the measuring stick for all running backs here at San Diego State. And the latest and the greatest is Lucky Sutton.
They've had some great backs. Pumphrey was unbelievable. George Jones in the 90s. Penny was great.
Donnell Pumphrey put up huge numbers. Now this is Christian Washington, another one of the homegrown running backs from Helix High School. Came back from Coastal Carolina.
He's really kind of more of their scat back, and he's got good hands, but right there meets Jordan Pollard in the hole, gets the best of him, but Pollard does a good job of hanging on to that leg and forcing a 3rd and short. This is the kind of 3rd down that the Aztecs, with that dominant offensive line, are comfortable in. Lucky Sutton back in the game.
Here's Lucky, that downhill one-cut running style, always falling forward. And falls forward for the first down here.
Yeah, it looked like they had him behind the line of scrimmage. It was Pollard again, but he was able to stand strong like a Torrey Pine and then fall forward.
And that brings us to the 2-minute timeout. Low-scoring defensive affair here in San Diego. Aztecs on top by 8 with 2 to go. Look, it's spread across the nation. The whole section taking off their shirts.
Tarps off.
Well, at least everybody under 12. Kids having fun here. This is a beautiful stadium.
It's really nice. They've done a great job, got the natural grass.
First down, Denegal looking to throw. And this one is caught. Looked like he had a first down for a moment, had to come back to get the ball to Donovan Brown.
Well, they were talking about it in our meetings that Donovan Brown has to be the guy to step up. They've tried to get it to him, and they just have missed, whether the throws are errant or he's not been able to pull it down. That time, first down.
And this time, Lucky Sutton has nowhere to go against that defensive front of San Jose State.
They've done a great job. Credit the new D coordinator, Boje Filimoyatu, who's really kind of instilled his passionate and emotional style into this defense. They're playing hard right now.
Yes, they are. All right, let's check in with Mike Hill to see what's coming up on the State Farm Halftime Show.
Coming up, it's the State Farm Halftime. USC battling Oregon in what could be a playoff elimination game. Utah and Kansas State in a high-scoring thriller. And after a huge win in Tuscaloosa, see what Oklahoma's defense did against Missouri. They've been doing it all season, Dan and Petros. See you at the half.
All right, Mike, we'll see you then. Thank you very much.
Venables, defensive guy.
And this is a defensive game here. Quincy Laquio on that last stop for San Jose State. They need everybody, defensively, offensively, to take down the #1 team in the conference. San Diego State controls their own destiny. Just one conference loss coming in. Looking at 2nd and 9 here. Denegal lets it rip up the right sideline, and it is caught. Donovan Brown making sure that.
What a turn of events there when San Jose State's defense was getting pretty comfortable. We talked about Donovan Brown needing to be the guy to step up. A wild one-on-one matchup. Denegal showing some arm strength, throwing that ball way down the field.
Nice adjustment by Brown. Picks up 50 on the catch.
Now here's where they're comfortable, right at the 5-yard line with their big back.
Another quick throw by Denegal. A nice play made outside by Caleb Presley. That was the freshman Jalen Hawkins on the catch.
Let's take a look at it. Just a little token play fake, and he knew where he wanted to go and just throws it up there. Gets away with a little bit of push on Presley and comes down with the ball. Nice adjustment by Donovan Brown. This will be the 8th play of the drive.
Here's Sutton. Stacked up at the 3-yard line.
Well, they're not getting pushed back. They're not like they're on roller skates, and that's what San Diego State's offensive line has done to a lot of people. The Spartans have done a good job standing strong in there in the line of scrimmage.
Timeout. San Diego State, that is their 2nd. Will be 30
How about
seconds
this
in length.
weight differential between the San Diego State offensive line and the San Jose State defensive line? Almost 50 pounds and 4 inches per man.
You should think that they'd be able to just get behind those big guys and push them off the ball. And they've had some success running the ball, and Lucky Sutton's look good, but they certainly haven't dominated that San Jose State front.
This offensive line, unlike last year where they used 8 different line combinations, has been healthy the vast majority and almost the same starting 5 every single game. Makes a huge difference. Racked up 277 yards against a good Boise State team last week.
I mean, a lot of things have happened to San Jose State. The opening pick, giving up a touchdown and a 2-point conversion early. And they've kind of weathered that storm. They lost their quarterback. They need to force a field goal here.
That would be a huge victory. 8 plays, 77 yards on this drive so far. And now it's 3rd and goal from the 2. Denegal going to keep it himself. Head down.
Everybody's signaling touchdown except for the referees.
Yeah, except for the people that count. And they're going to mark him short, much to the chagrin of Jaden Denegal.
Sean Lewis all the way down with the referees on the other side of the field. See what happens here. Good hit there. Oh, looks like he's in to me.
That's really close.
Pollard. Oh, was his knee down before he was able to lurch his body over? It looked like that knee might have been down.
I think you might be right, P.
Denegal trying to bring all the physicality he can to that play, but Steve, what do you think? Steve Strimling, our rules expert in the house.
You know, there's a couple of shots where his knee is down, and then you see him reach the ball. You just got to see where the ball is when that knee is down, and they got to get a shot down the line. They ruled him short, and it clearly could be short, so they're going to have to see something different to change this.
All right, Steve.
You know what I like about Steve is the pocket square.
Well, pocket squares are a big
can't
part.
Pull it off.
Oh, wow. Shots fired at Mike Pereira.
Take that.
You're making Steve nervous already.
They're going.
No question this time for Jaden Denegal, his 4th rushing touchdown of the year.
Well, we talked about that weight differential between the San Diego State O-line and the San Jose State D-line. And finally, it just takes its toll. Ross Ulugalu Masuilu, the center, doing a great job there. They line up in that weird PAT formation, but now they're going to just kick it traditionally.
Gabriel Placencia, the kicker, built like a linebacker. Boots it through. Guy has a big leg. He was kicking some 50-yarders pregame, and this one just an extra point, but puts the Aztecs on top by 15 as we have nearly come to the close of the first half. Denegal 3 for 3 for 63 yards on that drive. The big one, a 50-yard pass to Donovan Brown. And remember, they're playing without 2 of their best receivers in Jacob Bostic and Jordan Napier, who are done for the year. So it's Brown who has stepped up into that #1 receiver role. They had a couple of drop passes earlier in the half.
And they had a real deep one to Acevedo that was a sure touchdown that he wasn't able to haul in. Donovan Brown missed a couple, and the throws weren't exactly perfect to him earlier. That time he adjusted well to the deep ball, made the catch, and set up the 4th down touchdown behind that big San Diego State O-line.
Nearly every coach talks about the middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half, and San Diego State going to be receiving the second half kickoff. So certainly the middle 8, at least so far, has been treating them very well. As that kick by Placencia goes out of bounds. And I don't think it's really going to matter at this point with 1 second to go in the first half.
The receiving team player did not touch the ball. We have a kick out of bounds on the kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, first down.
What do you do at the 35-yard line with your freshman quarterback?
That's what I was going to say. Do you even take a shot here? Do you take a knee and just...
Well, if it's a situation where the game's ending, not the end of the half, what you do is you throw it down the field as far as he can, and then you pitch it to somebody after the catch is made. And you say, that's ridiculous. That never happened. I was doing a game once where that happened. Central Michigan versus Oklahoma State. And Central Michigan pulled that off. He didn't have the arm strength to get it all the way down, but not going to happen here at the end of the first half.
Well, he's just going to get rid of it, and San Jose State is going to go into the locker room down 15 to the #1 team in the conference. San Diego State taking care of business. 1,000 yards in history, and there have been a lot of good ones.
They sure have. We were going through them. He's been good, and we'll see if his confidence waxes or wanes as the night goes on here in San Diego. But he's been impressive so far in Craig Stutzman's explosive spread and shred offense.
And the kick called in at the 2-yard line. It's Donovan Brown out to about the 21-yard line, and that's where the San Diego State offense will take over.
We saw Denegal, the quarterback, with a big completion to Donovan Brown to set up that quarterback sneak touchdown behind their excellent center, Ross Ulugalu Maseuli.
Killed it. A lot of Polynesian names in the Mountain West Conference. Not always easy to say, but Petros, you nailed it.
Well, they can really do some damage on the Spartans with a long, sustained drive that eats up clock here.
Lucky Sutton out to the 25-yard line on first down. Justin Stearns on the tackle for the Spartans.
Good job by Stearns, standing strong, San Diego guy playing in his hometown for the San Jose State Spartans.
You know, every school is trying to keep their hometown kids, though. It seems like San Diego State's done a really good job of that. I think nothing exemplifies that more than Lucky Sutton and the running backs. All three of the guys in the running back room, at least who are top of the depth chart, are from San Diego State. And the San Diego native pays dividends here.
Look at the physical acceleration through the hole from Lucky Sutton. Nice blocking, and it takes Isaiah Rivas to come and make that play.
Denegal up the left sideline, trying to make the adjustment as Jalen Hawkins, the freshman, slowed down for just a minute, then tried to catch up to it.
Pretty good coverage there by Boehner. One-on-one with the speedy freshman. Does a great job looking back for the ball, and Hawkins didn't need to slow down to try to track that, but he did, and it ends up going over his head.
Christian Washington and Lucky Sutton both in the backfield. We were told that we would see more two-back sets, especially with Napier and Bostic out, their two leading receivers. Sutton up the middle on second down, picks up 5. Now Latu on the stop for the Spartans. No hurry here for San Diego State, taking their time.
Now they want to keep that San Jose State offense on the sideline, want to keep their defense fresh, keep all their blitz packages fresh. The longer you're out there, the more exposed you can be to a really explosive offense. And that is what the Spartans have had all year long. It hasn't exactly paid dividends for wins. They've had some very tough luck losses this year.
Denegal throwing on 3rd and 4. It's tipped, intended for Jalen Hawkins. So out comes the punt unit for San Diego State.
So much for the long sustained drive, huh?
Spartan defense answering the call.
Trying to set up a wide receiver screen for Hawkins, and just didn't look good.
So on to punt is Hunter Green. Nice spiraling punt. Thomas calls for the fair catch inside the 15-yard line. And we get another look at the freshman from Hawaii, Tom Amasone, as we're looking at the sideline now. And
yeah, they're looking at Denegal. Checking that shoulder. He's been banged up for a while this year. The captain quarterback transfer from Michigan.
And it is a different looking offense without Walker Eget in there, but this is a quick strike offense. Amasone going to keep it himself out past the 20-yard line. Positive gain on first down.
That is something that the San Diego State defense hasn't had much of an answer for, as far as getting 5 or 6 yards whenever he wants to do it. Dale Sean Staley comes up and makes the tackle, but not before Amasone creates a very favorable second down with his legs. Do they have the ability to play as fast with the offense, tempo-wise, with the freshman in the game? We'll be able to see that as the half unfolds.
4-man rush coming from San Diego State. Amasone going up top. Battling for the ball is Leland Smith and Bryce Phillips.
Good battle out there between the two. Amasone gave him a chance to go up and make the play. Leland Smith, long speed, 6'4", 215, the transfer from Purdue, fighting for it, but a great job recovering by Bryce Phillips and making the play. San Jose State's got to find a way to stay on the field here.
Keep your eye on Danny Scudero on 3rd down. Lined up in the backfield, Amasone going right there. And picks up the first for San Jose State.
They have to give him space because he's so fast and he can run by you, and you've seen a lot of that this year. So with that space, he's able to just hook up and turn around and make a play.
And there's Amasone with that first down run, picks up 7. You talk about the offensive line and how far they spread things out.
And the tempo. I mean, that was really fast tempo. So Amasone's got that ability to get him up on the line of scrimmage and going right away. Here it is again. Those splits are gigantic. Hash to hash.
There it is again. All kinds of room for Amasone out to the 48-yard line.
He's starting to play with some confidence and some swagger. Look at those big splits. At least 3 yards between everybody.
And that one knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Second time we've seen that. Good awareness. Brady Nasser there getting his arms up, slapping it down. If you're not going to be able to get to the quarterback, the ball's out that fast. That's your second best chance on the defensive edges.
San Jose State actually possessed the ball longer than San Diego State did in the first half, but they had so many self-inflicted wounds, a couple of missed field goals, and that turnover, that they were only able to cobble together 3 points. And here's another throw that was intended for Scudero, but he had no chance at it.
They're creating mismatches by bringing him out of the backfield. So Scudero's coming out of the backfield and running into that zone and trying to run by the zone. Looked like Amasone tried to throw a back shoulder, but it wasn't really there. There's Craig Stutzman calling the next play. This guy's pretty special offensive coordinator, no doubt about it. And there's Scudero. Man, is he fun to watch. Such acceleration.
8th play of the drive for San Jose State here on 3rd down. Scudero going to be shy of picking up the first, out of bounds at about the 46-yard line.
They're going to keep that offense on the field. It looks like no thought to take it out once they got positive yardage there on 3rd down. Just one substitution, bringing in Matthew Coleman for the tight end, Jackson Kanan. And that allows San Diego State to substitute. This is a big down.
Scudero in the backfield, Chavez Soto in the slot. Flushed out of the pocket, and there are the wheels again. The freshman picking up another first down for the Spartans.
They were trying to get Scudero on what you would call a Texas route or something across the linebacker area. Amasone got pressured, saw that it wasn't there, and then just takes off. And he has really good escapability.
And here he is here. There was nothing going downfield. They'll take it. Another positive game, picks up 4 yards.
Now, we've seen a lot of this from San Jose State. We saw it in the first half with Amasone, but it was happening between the 20s. What happens if they start to threaten and get into the red zone? Once again, Scudero in the backfield, and that creates a mismatch.
11th play of the drive for San Jose State. Pressure coming. Amasone has to get rid of it early, unable to find Scudero.
And putting Scudero in the backfield is basically like a 5 wide receiver set now. So that's a good thing if you want to throw the ball, but it also indicates to the Aztecs that they don't need to really worry about the run at all. They can play coverage and rush. And you saw it there from Niles King, forcing that incompletion with pressure.
3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Scudero in the middle. Amasone with plenty of time finds Scudero right at the first down marker. Eric Butler wraps him up
They're going to keep the offense on the field again for the 4th and short. It's an out route from Scudero, really more of an arrow route, really faked the inside move, committed to it, and then he's so fast he just pops out to the edge before Eric Butler can get to him. Another big 4th down play on this drive.
Chavez Soto in the backfield, 4th and 1 for the Spartans. There's Scudero, has to turn it upfield, and he does.
What a battle between Scudero and the excellent corner, Chris Johnson.
Oh, they're going to say he didn't get it?
Wow. Very close there. Chris Johnson, the best corner in the Mountain West, closing in at the stick, and they give it to the Aztecs. Perhaps the knees were down before he got to the stick.
Scudero sliding out of bounds on the knees, and it was Chris Johnson, the future NFL potential first rounder, saving the day.
Big stop by the Aztecs on the Mesa. And here are the two guys we talked about at the intro of the show, Scudero and Chris Johnson, the great corner. They bring Scudero around and throw him the swing pass. He's got to turn around to get it, and maybe if he didn't have to do that, he'd have got the first down. But what leverage and what a close by Chris Johnson.
And this is Christian Washington on first down for San Diego State. The junior from San Diego, Helix High School, spelling Lucky Sutton.
You know who else went to Helix High School?
Terrell Davis?
No, that was Lincoln High. Terrell Davis, it's Reggie Bush.
Oh, Helix.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Almost a backwards pass from Denegal. It was kind of like a shot put. A weird arm angle.
And that's that triple option look that they ran in the first half. And that is essentially the pitch man that they threw it out to there.
I know somebody else that went to Helix.
Go ahead.
Bill Walton.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, and his son Luke Walton went to Cathedral Catholic, like Lucky Sutton. Wow.
We could talk 7 degrees of Bill Walton all night long. Hopefully we don't have to. 3rd and 6. Keeping it on the ground and fighting for the first down is Washington, but he's not going to get it.
Yeah, he's short. They were set back by that botched triple option play. Delayed handoff there and trying to let Washington work, but a nice play by Jalen Apollit-Williams, wrapping up Washington and preventing him from getting for the first down. That's the first 3 and out that San Diego State has suffered at the hands of the Spartans tonight.
Hunter Green punting. Jalen Thomas deep for San Jose State. A booming kick from Hunter Green. That was beautiful. And the Spartan defense answers the call with their first 3 and out of the game. Let's see what the offense can do. This coaching profile sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. 109 wins, most by any coach in school history. That's what Ken Niumatalolo did at the U.S. Naval Academy there over 15 years. 3-time Conference Coach of the Year in the Polynesian Football Hall of Fame for over a decade now. He had a great run at Navy, taking over for Brent Brennan at San Jose State. And they were picked to finish 3rd in the conference this year.
I can see why.
Been a disappointing season for him thus far, and we talked about that week that he had last week when he had to fire his defensive coordinator and his special teams coordinator, and they came off that loss to Nevada 55-10. They had 5 turnovers. Nothing went right, and then they come into this one, throw an interception on the first series, lose their quarterback shortly thereafter, and now they're playing with the freshman trying to come back from 15 down here with about a quarter and a half to go.
Against the best team in the Mountain West. But I think he recognizes his team a little more than he did last week. They do have some fight in him.
Amasone flushed out of the pocket, getting rid of it in his own end zone. And if they call intentional grounding, that's a safety.
I guess he was outside enough.
Pressure coming from Trey White.
There is no foul.
John Lewis is out of the numbers.
The quarterback was outside the pocket and the ball went beyond the line of scrimmage. Third down.
He did drift outside the tackle box. Of course, that tackle box is pretty huge with those splits, but right on the border there.
Wow, it was close. It's right on the hash, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Third and 8, big third down play for the freshman. And it's caught.
Beautiful.
Kyrie Scholes making the catch. First down, Spartans.
And he's down.
Oh, that's not good.
That was one of his best throws, if not the best throw of the night. Amasone getting that ball to Scholes as he's working across the field on the in route. And he may have cramped up.
Yeah, that looks like a cramp.
And that is better news than what had happened to Walker Eget for Ken Niumatalolo's team in the first quarter.
So the question is, if Amasone has to go out, who comes in next? It's either Xavier Ward or Robert McDaniel. Ward, a fifth-year senior, McDaniel, a true freshman, who initially was at UCLA and then transferred when Nico Iamaleava arrived. And that's Xavier Ward, who's warming up right now.
Yeah, they did not designate a backup, really, for this game when Eget went out. So it was a big mystery for everybody.
And McDaniel's in the ball game, the true freshman who came over just a few months ago.
Northern California guy.
Chavez Soto with a nice first down carry for the Spartans. So McDaniel left high school early, started at UCLA in January, and you know how that whole quarterback situation went down.
Yeah, he's staying in the game too.
And he decided it was better to move on, and he's getting some work. Two true freshman quarterbacks have been on the field tonight for the Spartans. Certainly not what they planned.
And they've played pretty well. They haven't made mistakes or really put their team at risk.
And this time he is gobbled up by Chris Johnson on the corner blitz.
Well, we haven't heard much from Chris Johnson just because he locks down one side and enables the defense to do so much. He had the play on fourth down, forcing the turnover on downs on Scudero. This time they send him on the blitz. And McDaniel does not see him, has no chance, did not expect the corner to come until he's right in his face. Third and long.
Lost 10 yards on that play. More pressure coming, has to dump it off. And there's just nowhere to go for Chavez Soto. It was Brady Nasser who made the tackle on Chavez Soto, and the punt unit coming out for San Jose State.
After the really nice throw from Amasone to Scholes, he gets a cramp, has to come off the field. It disrupts the rhythm of the Spartans offense, and they got to give it back.
Carrizosa's punt nearly blocked. Mikey Welsh hog-tied at the 35-yard line. Caleb Womack with a nice tackle for San Jose State. Still 18-3. Back in San Diego, still a 15-point lead for San Diego State. Little Spartans and Aztec
Ancient
trivia.
Warriors.
The key battle of Thermopylae.
Nice.
Look at these two of the great warriors. And there was actually somebody dressed up as an Aztec in the booth right next to us in the first half. You were so locked in and focused.
Feathers everywhere.
Bert Emanuel in at quarterback for San Diego State. Gives to Lucky Sutton on first down. And you have to wonder if that has anything to do with the injury of Jaden Denegal, who was being checked out on the sideline a couple of series ago. They were looking at his arm, maybe his shoulder.
Yeah, they looked like they were working on that shoulder. Emanuel, a transfer from Central Michigan. See what this offense looks like with him.
He keeps it himself. And is steered back to the 40-yard line by that Spartan defense. And back a couple of series. Here's Denegal coming off the field. And you can see kind of the shoulder just hanging a little bit.
Yeah, the right arm.
And I wonder if that, do you remember when he had that kind of screen pass and it was a funky release and a weird throw and he didn't have anything on it? This was right after that play. And
got a brace on the other one too.
Sutton appears to have picked up the first down. And Denegal's been battling injuries for a while through both shoulders, and this was a couple of weeks ago in October against Fresno State.
Yeah, he went down on it there. Almost looked like a collarbone there. And that's the same arm that seems to be bothering him here, but he's up, moving around on the sideline, watching Bert Emanuel operate the offense.
Sutton on first down. If the name sounds familiar, you're like, where do I know that name from? Yes, his dad, Bert, was the NFL receiver with the Falcons and the Buccaneers, had an 8-year NFL career. Emanuel played his high school ball in Houston, Texas at Ridge Point and spent 3 years at Central Michigan. This is his first year on the San Diego State roster. This time they give to the freshman Hawkins. Hawkins going to be stopped shy of the line to gain.
He can scoot though, can't he? They're trying to get him involved. And they like what they see. They've been throwing him the ball, pitching him the ball. 3rd and about 3.
And it looks like they're going to let the third quarter come to a close here as the lead remains 15 for San Diego State. So San Jose State on their third quarterback, San Diego State on their second quarterback, and playing with a 15-point lead as we go into the final quarter of this ball game. Set to start the fourth quarter here in San Diego after a scoreless third, and Jaden Denegal, the starting quarterback, took a couple of plays off. His shoulder's been bothering him for the last couple of weeks, been playing through pain, and he has checked back into the ball game. The backup Bert Emanuel in for a few plays, and now it's Denegal's show once again. This is Christian Washington picking up the first down for San Diego State.
Well, the game does not feel as close as it really is just because San Jose State has had such a hard time creating consistency on offense. Now, a very odd formation from the Aztecs.
They flip it to the freshman. They're really trying to get Jalen Hawkins the ball. They told us they were going to do that. You mentioned the speed, saw his first action on special teams last week, and that one didn't go for much.
Yeah, they're just trying to create space for him. But a good job by the Spartans defense rallying there.
Pressure coming on Denegal, throws it away.
Third and long situation for Denegal. Not easy. You see the play selection between the run and the pass. What Coach Lewis's team has been doing pretty much all year. Playing very conservative, playing to the defense.
I mentioned last week, granted they were rainy conditions, Denegal only threw the ball 10 times in that win over Boise State. Cardwell Washington in at running back. Three-man rush. Plenty of time for Denegal. Delivers. It's Donovan Brown. We do have a flag down.
Donovan Brown, who had the big catch to set up the touchdown at the end of the half. Getting a little more run here in the second half, but let's see what the penalty is.
An eligible man downfield. Offense, number 15. He was covered up and went downfield. 5-yard penalty, third down.
That's the tight end, Jackson Boyd.
Yeah, you see him there. Can't go downfield if you're one of those guys on the line of scrimmage and you're covered up. And that negates a good third down throw and some confidence for Denegal.
Denegal on 3rd and 13. Pressure coming again, and they get him. Nafafunga. Nowhere to go for Denegal.
Nafafunga is a great presence. You don't see him all the time making plays because he just takes up space and eats up double teams. But here he is, the senior from American Samoa, his third year playing, fighting through the double team and making that play. Ellis had no chance to block him once he got on his hip and put that big 304-pound body on Denegal, who's already beat up.
That was the first sack of the game for the Spartans. This is Jalen Thomas out past the 20-yard line. Still a 15-point game. San Jose State very much in this ball game. They need a couple of scores here in the fourth. Tomorrow, it's a Fox NFL doubleheader starting with Justin Jefferson and the Vikings against Jordan Love and the Packers, or other regional action. Then in America's Game of the Week, it's the Eagles and the Cowboys. Doesn't get any better than that, or the Falcons and the Saints. Check your local listings for games in your area, only on Fox. Tom Amasone is back in at quarterback, and Danny Scudero lined up in the backfield along with Juju Te'au. Out to Scudero. Scudero trying to get out past the 20-yard line. Wrestled out of bounds by Josiah Cox.
Very physical play by Cox there. Transferred from New Mexico State. San Jose State really been able to move the ball, but not really to threaten scoring points. 4 drives of 10-plus plays. Like we talked about, really between the 20s. Missed the 2 field goals. All they have to show for it is the 3 points.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to finish those drives. 2 missed field goals have killed them. Deep shot down the right sideline. Oh, picked off. Catch was nearly made by Kyrie Scholes, and it's picked off. San Diego State coming up with a miraculous interception. And who else? It's Chris Johnson.
That's why you don't test that guy. Best corner in the Mountain West. And it looked for a moment like he had this ball wrestled away from him, but Chris Johnson doesn't give up and snatches it away.
Welcome back. Here's another look at that interception by Chris Johnson. He is a potential first-round pick, and you can see why here. Looks like he's beat, makes up the ground. The ball's a little underthrown, and then he just rips it away for the interception. What a tremendous individual effort by Chris Johnson.
Unbelievable recovery there.
Denegal looking to throw. He's taking a deep shot. Has a man broken up. He was looking for Donovan Brown. There is a flag down. It was Jalen Boehner there to break up the pass, but it looks like it might have been pass interference.
That's tough on Boehner here. Let's see what happens. He's running with him pretty well. Then the ball stops. Yeah, I don't see it.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
I mean, he's going for the ball.
That's a tough call.
Yeah, that's the wrong call there. Maybe he's there a skosh early, but that's not really an accurate throw, and that ball is up for everybody.
He had that arm wrapped a little bit, but he wasn't really tugging. He wasn't doing a whole lot there. And sounds like our rules analyst Steve Strimling agrees with you, Petros.
Thank goodness.
Well, we know if Mike Pereira was there, he wouldn't be agreeing with you, since you've already said that Steve Strimling's better.
Well, I said I like what he's doing with the pocket square and that Pereira couldn't pull it off. That's all I said.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's see if they grind it out here and just try to push him off the ball. This San Jose State defense has got to be tired. They've been taxed all night.
Denegal dancing around in the pocket. Continues to look downfield and then just gets rid of it.
They're trying to get something going in the passing game here. They have that big, strong offensive line and the big, beautiful back, Lucky Sutton, but Sean Lewis and his OC, Matt Johnson, see something in the passing game the last couple downs that they wanted to exploit down the field. And third down situation here after the pick.
San Diego State running the ball on third down with Cardwell. And Cardwell's going to be about a yard shy, going to bring up 4th and 1. And out comes the punt unit.
Well, they've been playing great defense all night, only giving up 3 points. And the defensive unit is the strength of their football team. Maybe not the most popular move here at Snapdragon, but certainly there is logic behind it. And it just goes to show how much Sean Lewis has changed.
Hunter Green lands this one inside the 10-yard line. Fair catch called for by Jalen Thomas. We've been stuck on a 15-point lead for a while, and that's just fine with the Aztec fans. We told you Chris Johnson was a potential first-round draft pick, and you can see why tonight. On 4th down, comes up to make the stop on Scudero, then off the edge on the corner blitz, gets the sack, and then check this out. Just rips the ball away for an interception. They say he changes the math for this entire defense. Their best player on that side of the ball. His football IQ is off the charts, and he's going to be making some noise on the next level. That is for sure.
Smiling about it.
Chavez Soto out past the 15-yard line before Amari Comie makes the stop. This is really the kind of game it's been tonight, P. 111 plays, and we have exactly one that's gone for more than 20 yards.
And they've moved the ball.
Yes, they have both
not
teams.
Moved it when they really need to move it. San Jose State. San Diego State had that long pass to Brown at the end of the first half.
Amasone lets it go. Leland Smith makes the catch. First down for San Jose State. Surprised they're not playing with a tiny bit more urgency. I know we still have 10 minutes to go in the game, but It probably because it's a freshman quarterback and they're not able to do the same thing.
A little bit. They do have the ability to run some tempo with him, and they're up on the line of scrimmage now, but they substituted, so you got to let San Diego State substitute as well.
And then on the run, picking up 5 on first down.
His running ability has created a lot of favorable downs and distances for the Spartans offense, but they just haven't been able to cash in on their opportunities.
Amasone now with 12 carries for 75 yards on the ground. 5-yard pickup sets up 2nd and 5. Quick pass to the outside, looks like a double pass, and it's picked off. Oh no. Flag down. Dwayne McDougal with his 2nd interception of the game. And Leland Smith just chucked it up there over the head of the intended receiver and right to Dwayne McDougal.
Looks like they were trying to get the ball to Jackson Kanan down the field, but he was nowhere near open, at least to the spot that Smith threw it. Smith made a pretty good fake like he was going to go upfield and then backed up, but just, I don't think he saw where he was throwing it.
Holding, defense number 0. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, that would explain it, yeah.
That'll change things just a little bit.
Bryce Phillips wearing 0 there is going to end up holding Jackson Kanan as they went out of the pick. There it is right here. Yeah, he knows he's beaten, so he puts that arm out and spins Kanan around, and that's why the pass looks so errant.
Little jet sweep to Scudero. And that was a pretty looking play design that ends up in a 1-yard gain.
I know that it's only a 1-yard gain, but what an athletic move just to get away from Niles King, who was right in the backfield in his face. Scudero has some serious escapability and acceleration. He's like a 4-wheel drive ATV out there.
They played Sac State last year where Scudero was a wide receiver. Saw him, liked him, and ended up transferring. Keeping it on the ground, Chavez Soto. Out past the 45. Niles King on the stop. Chavez Soto's done some nice work. Really physical and confident, still a little bit green. Started the season on the scout team for the first half of the year. And in the back half of the season, he's already racked up 7 rushing touchdowns.
He's been a good find for them and a guy that can grow in the program under Coach Ken Niumatalolo. 3rd down opportunity to stay on the field against this vaunted San Diego State D.
Trying to pick up the first down is the youngster Juju Te'au, and he does.
Good job by Te'au finding the open field and then knowing where the stick is, getting forward to get that first down. Let's see if San Jose State can get some points.
Similar looking play here and similar results. Almost another first down for Te'au.
Yeah, he was deep into the line of scrimmage before he even got touched. And that's part of these big splits and this spread and shred style offense that San Jose State runs. But can they get into the red zone and have success?
8th play of the drive here. Juju again picking up the first down.
He's into the line of scrimmage before the linebacker, Mr. Williams, can catch up to him. Another first down for San Jose State. They found a little something with Te'au here.
Redshirt sophomore, didn't play last year. Had 2,200 yards as a senior at St. Francis High School. Catch is made at the 30. It's Jackson Kanan. And that's going to bring up second down and about 4.
I like that tight end, Jackson Kanan, as they're playing with some tempo. He was a high school running back. He's a big guy, 6'2", 230.
30 catches on the year for Kanan. And that time, the San Diego State defense knew exactly what was coming with Amasone. He was a little bit slow to get up.
Brady Nasser that time making the play. And do they have the energy and the consistency to find something here and get a first down and then continue on to score? That would make it a very interesting final 3 or 4 minutes here.
Amasone pulls it, tries to turn the corner, can't do it. Look at that, 5 San Diego State defenders around him, flagged down.
Yeah, maybe a late hit there on Dwayne McDougal, against Dwayne McDougal. Be an interesting call here, but just great leverage by the Aztec defense. They really do make up when you think somebody's got a bubble or they're gonna create some space. They just find the leverage and layer it very well.
Personal foul, illegal below waist, offense number 39. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, 3rd down.
Tuli Tagovailoa Amosa with the hit on McDougal, and that is a drive killer. Coach Ken knows it. Here it is. Yeah, you can't cut people down like that anymore. We used to get off the bus cutting guys like that.
Well, Tuli, the cousin of Tua, just a freshman, so he's still learning, no doubt about that. But 3rd and 20, that is a costly penalty for Ken Niumatalolo's troops. Sean Lewis has to be pleased with what he has seen so far from his Aztecs, especially the defense that has held this high-scoring San Jose State offense to just 3 points. Granted, they are without star quarterback Walter Egat, who went down early in this game with a leg injury.
Please put 4:22 on the clock, 4:22, and start on my signal.
Tama Amasone came in relief. He left the game for a little while. Robert McDaniel came in for a drive, and now Amasone, the freshman from Hawaii, back in the ball game and trying to do the impossible here. Not just convert on 3rd and 20, but find the end zone for the first time tonight. Flushed out of the pocket is Amasone, and there's just nowhere to go on 3rd and 20.
August Salvati with the pressure. They rushed 4 and twisted him up and got to him, and great coverage down the field. You can see how they're covering Scudero. He's so fast, and they're just passing him off in that zone right on top of him. We have an injured Spartan, and looks like another cramp for Amasone.
Yeah, he's down. He was grabbing that calf, and they're trying to stretch it out.
And cramps up there at the end of the play after trying to escape that pressure.
You know, it's interesting. You talk about Scudero and that good coverage on him on the last play, and you're like, oh, he's been relatively quiet tonight. He has 12 catches.
Yeah, he's a machine. And there's Walker Egat, having a great year playing quarterback for the Spartans, but went down early in this game and has been on crutches ever since the first quarter.
Well, his fill-in, Tama Amasone, came into the game with 165 yards of total offense on the season, Tonight he has 179 as Egett, who has had such a good year, the fifth-year senior, took over the starting job midway through last season and then just exploded this year. Had over 3,000 yards passing, averaging over 300 yards per game coming into the night before he got hurt. And Robert McDaniel in at quarterback here on 4th and 20. McDaniel running for his life, and there is nowhere to run and hide because Ryan Henderson's going to find you.
Henderson's been all over it, came into this game with 4 sacks. And things go from bad to worse for San Jose State no matter who's playing quarterback. The Aztecs are getting after him.
Santa not only trimmed his beard, but somehow he got a credential to the game tonight.
It wasn't me. I didn't give it to him. And apparently his name is Davis. I always thought it was Santa Claus.
Well, he's looking good.
Little early. I like the Christmas stuff after the Thanksgiving holiday. Personally.
Beards are apparently a thing here at San Diego State.
There's no doubt. Beards and the bent hat bill. That's what Coach Lewis is all about.
Well, beards and winning. Christian Washington is all wrapped up, but this running game has been so good this year. A nice job by the head coach, Sean Lewis, and his offensive coordinator with play design and playing to their strengths this year. Johnson is a great story. Played quarterback at Bowling Green when Sean Lewis was the quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator. Was a player of the year. Set a school record with 73 career touchdown passes. Had a CFL tryout after he was cut by the Bengals. And he was talking to Lewis, and Lewis was like, "What are you doing to train?" He goes, "I'm throwing at a local high school." He goes, "To high school kids? Come to Syracuse, work out with my guys. You can stay with me, and we'll see how it goes." And so he went up there. He stayed with him for like a month, plays in the CFL for a little while, and they've been best buds ever since. Pretty cool that they go all the way back to the playing days, and now Johnson is the offensive coordinator, and apparently beards have spread throughout Snapdragon Stadium.
Yeah. Everybody loves beards because Lewis is winning. There was at least 4 or 5 guys on his staff with the bald head beard look. And now it's starting to spill over into the crowd at Snapdragon Stadium. Facial hair forever.
I mean, it is kind of appropriate that they break off a nice chunk run here by Christian Washington when you're talking about the power of the beard. A little beard whip around at the stadium, courtesy of our director, Brian Bearderman.
That's not his name.
I know it's Biederman, but we can change it just for the sake of changing it. Joe Theismann changed his name for the Heisman Trophy.
Oh, now it's just, come on. Look at that.
That's full. Got a COVID beard. That's the only time I let that beard.
I feel naked being clean shaven here. Your COVID beard was impressive.
It was strong to quite strong, I must say. Nobody else liked it besides me. A nice run again by Washington. And San Diego State in the red zone with under 3 minutes to go.
This is what we started to expect to see in the second half after San Jose State's defense has been taxed so much. This big offensive line for the Aztecs throwing different backs. Christian Washington, Cardwell. We haven't seen much of Lucky Sutton here in the second half.
Lucky Sutton already has over 1,000 yards on the season. They're just trying to give some other guys a bite at the apple, perhaps. Fresh set of downs from the 14. And another nice run by Washington inside the 10 before Caleb Presley makes the tackle.
Timeout. San Jose State, that is their second. Will be 30 seconds.
Trying to stop the clock before the 2-minute timeout.
San Diego State, of course, coming into this one first place in the Mountain West. They control their own destiny. They went out and they host the conference championship game here at Snapdragon. And so many teams kind of bunched together there right behind them. The Rebels with a nice win last night against Hawaii, bumping the Rainbows Warriors down just a little bit. But you have the Lobos, who have had an incredible year. Boise State right in the mix as well. It's been a fun year in the Mountain West.
It really has, and a year that you wouldn't really expect. A lot of new coaches. You know, no one saw New Mexico coming. Nobody saw San Diego State with this style having so much success, and San Jose State is underperformed.
Here's Washington fighting his way into the end zone, and he gets there. His third rushing touchdown of the year.
Well, they like him as a scat back, and they like to throw him the ball. Thought they were going to throw him the ball a little more tonight with their receivers being hurt, but instead, he's just bowing up behind this big offensive line. Nice lead block from the tight end, Seth Adams, and just bolos his way into the end zone.
Placencia's kick is good, and this is what San Diego State does. Just a little bully ball, and Christian Washington, all 5'10", 205 pounds of him.
Running through arm tackles. Big guys, too.
Just keeps churning those legs.
Jaira Moy had a big arm on him, and he ran right through it.
And no longer a 15-point lead after San Diego State tacks on another touchdown. We went through a scoreless third quarter. San Diego State finding the end zone here. And this is the kind of statement win they were looking for as they go on the road to wrap up the season at New Mexico. Not an easy place to play, especially with the kind of season New Mexico's been having.
Oh, they've been great. Coach Eck has been a godsend to Albuquerque.
So much good football in the Mountain West. 7 teams technically coming into the weekend were still alive, vying for a shot in the conference championship game. Thanksgiving Day on Fox, 2 iconic programs tipping off in a top 25 showdown. Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans take on freshman standout Caleb Wilson and North Carolina. It all starts at 4:30 Eastern on Fox. Three different quarterbacks used for San Jose State. This is Robert McDaniel, the true freshman in the game once again. Graduated college early. Started his career at UCLA. Decided to transfer up north to San Jose State when Nico Iamaleava came to Westwood. And a run up the middle on first down for San Jose State brings us to the 2-minute timeout here at Snapdragon Stadium. The Aztecs making a statement against their neighbors to the north. Back in San Diego, Aztecs on top by 22. Average 24 points per game coming in, just 3 tonight. And it's really the aerial attack that took a hit when their starting quarterback, Walker Eggett, had to leave in the first quarter with a leg injury. This, the third different quarterback who has played Robert McDaniel, was looking for Leland Smith there. And it was a rough week, as we talked about, for Ken Niumatalolo and the entire team, as he had to fire his defensive coordinator and special teams coach. He met with the athletic director, and after that meeting, he said he knew he had to make changes, and he made a couple of them and had to get rid of a defensive coordinator who had been there for a long, long
9
time.
years.
Derek Odom, the 4th longest tenured defensive coordinator in FBS football. McDaniel going to have to tuck it and run. Gets out past the 30 as he slides down, and we're Time ticking away, but San Diego State really, after that early interception, things kind of going in their direction. But until really the fourth quarter in that last touchdown.
Yeah, what happened there was McDaniel went down and got kicked in the head when he slid by Brady Anderson, and that hurt Brady Anderson. You know, the helmet on the shin bone.
Yeah, Brady Anderson scored that 2-point conversion earlier in the game.
Yeah, that's our cowboy collar guy. Watch him kick him in the head. Ooh. That hurts on both sides.
Yeah, right on the kneecap almost. Ugh. Well, Brady Anderson not wearing those short pants that some of these guys wear these days. But, you know, the knee pads aren't even knee pads anymore.
Every year something happens in college football. If fashion-wise, that's an abomination. This year it's the short pants, the Daisy Duke, so to speak, and the flappy extra mouthpieces. Yeah,
the guys love the...
We're on the same page there, Dan.
Yeah, you sound like old man, get off my lawn.
Sure do. At least it's real grass here.
It's beautiful. Snapdragon is a beautiful facility. McDaniel letting it go over the head of Kyrie Scholes. And just can't really get anything going offensively for San Jose State. Egan goes down.
Yeah, you have to say for Ken Niumatalolo, a hard luck season. Few chip shot field goals away from having 7 wins. And that really is the truth. And now they've come down to a situation where one kicker kicks it off one hash, the other kicks it off another hash. Stutzman's still out there teaching.
You know, this is the kind of crazy year it's been in the Mountain West. San Jose State only has 3 wins, but 2 of those against New Mexico and Hawaii, who coming into the weekend could have been in the conference championship game.
Yeah, really, any given weekend, they could beat anybody or could get beat by anybody, as was evidenced by the loss to Nevada last week.
And it really is a tale of 2 seasons and 2 teams here tonight. You had San Jose State that was picked to finish 3rd in the conference, and things haven't gone well for Ken Niumatalolo. Been a rough year for him. But on the flip side, you have Sean Lewis and San Diego State picked to finish 8th in the conference, and here they are sitting pretty in first place, controlling their own destiny going into the season finale against New Mexico.
That's going to be a heck of a game.
And yes, San Jose State did have a lot of bad luck at the quarterback position tonight, having to play 3 guys because of injury, but this Aztec defense is as advertised.
And they have great players. We didn't see so much from Trey White, but we saw a heck of a lot in the second half from Chris Johnson, the great cornerback.
You can only tell so much from some of these pre-draft projections, but there are several that have Chris Johnson on the fringes of being a first-round pick, and he's one of those guys that the more he talks to coaches, the more impressed they're going to be. And it is the first undefeated home regular season since 1996 for the Aztecs, 6-0 here at Snapdragon. What a turnaround from a 3-9 season